West Denver. Sleep deprived and heavily caffeinated.
All right, let's do this then.
This is the Jeff and Bill Show.
I don't understand why this is an issue.
They don't always agree, but hey, at least they have coffee.
Coffee.
And each other.
I love you, man.
God help us.
I want to bless him. We need all the help we can get.
Now here's Jeff Hunt and Bill Thorpe. The Jeff and Bill Show on News Talk 710 KNUS.
Good morning, Denver, Colorado. You've tuned in to the Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710 KNUS. I'm your co-host, Jeff Hunt, along with Bill Thorpe, bringing you the freshest insights, hottest takes from the right, left, and center. We've got a very, very busy day for you today, jam-packed. Great interviews lined up. We're going to talk with Senator Byron Pelton here in just a second. He's a Colorado State Senator. The city of Denver. The city of Denver has voted to allocate $800 million over the next 35 years to improving the National Western Complex, to house the National Western Stock Show, as well as spend about $3 million a year encouraging the residents of the city of Denver not to eat meat. And if the irony doesn't hit you straight in the face, we might have to help you out a little bit on that one. But Senator Byron Pelton, who represents the agricultural community here in Colorado, is going to join us to talk about that. We're going to get into a bond request, speaking of the city of Denver, to bring about some changes to the city. We'll cover that in the 7 o'clock hour. Jennifer Kelly, who's got a new show here on 710 KNUS Saturdays at 1 p.m., lives in New York City. She'll give us the latest update on what happened yesterday, the shooting. Wild. Guy drives all the way from Nevada through Colorado, by the way, with an AR-15, some other guns, drives to New York City and shoots folks. We'll get the latest from Jennifer Kelly. And then we'll be joined by Joe and Dee Pemper, the first annual Elbert County Duck Race coming up. We'll talk with them in the 9 o'clock hour. So, lots to cover today, locally, statewide, as well as nationally. But now it's time for news and comment with Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, news and comment.
Good Tuesday morning, 68 and overcast outside. Beautiful morning, expecting a high of 85 today. This portion of the news sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at 303-777-1234 to learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story, a mass shooting inside a Midtown Manhattan high-rise on Monday left 5 dead, including the shooter and an NYPD officer who was actually off-duty working security. The 36-year-old officer was killed in the lobby alongside 2 men and a woman. The gunman, 27-year-old Shane Tamura from Las Vegas, carried a rifle down the street beforehand. Another victim remains in critical but stable condition, and several others suffered minor injuries while escaping. CNN, shortly after the call came in.
But with a long gun visible. So it sounded like he, other than the long gun, which is not a simple thing to say other than in New York City, right? People don't walk around with guns like that. But was his face visible? I mean, do they have any idea at this point who he is?
They do not know who he is. They know he is a male, possibly white. He's wearing sunglasses.
Okay, so that was John Miller. And about 10 seconds in, he said he was white. The gunman wasn't white. Typical CNN. And Miller never corrected himself. But that should not be surprising to anyone.
I said, Lord, whatever it is that you're doing, let me know what it is so I could expedite the process.
All right, CU Buffs head football coach Deion Sanders says he's now cancer-free after undergoing surgery for bladder cancer. Doctors discovered the tumor during a routine vascular checkup and confirmed it was a high-risk form of the disease. Sanders chose robotic surgery to remove his bladder, and a new bladder was created during the same procedure. He's urging others to get checked, noting the importance of early detection.
Because I know you got me. I've seen you have my back. I've seen you there in the midst of storms when nobody knew I was going through hell. I've seen you guide me and bring me through. Lord, I would never say why me, but let me know what I need to do so that I can help. And there's some people out there right now dealing with the same issue or affected by that C word that we usually, when we hear that word, is normally a life sentence attached to it. But not this time. But not this time.
All right, so that was the good Deion.
Gosh.
That was good. I mean, he's gonna be fun. He's inspirational to you. There's good Deion and there's bad Deion. See, he does this. He's been doing this to me for 35 years.
Yeah,
so
give me some insight on this.
Okay, so I mean, a great press conference. It's awesome. Okay, so I gotta call balls and strikes, man. Sure. So he's talking life and death for 35 minutes. I mean, that's why this was a serious press conference, because there was a chance of death here. Okay, he survived it. Thank God he has Jesus in his life. Hallelujah to the Lamb of God. I love it, because now the University of Colorado, as you have mentioned, is now the home of Christianity. I love it. The lefties hate that. So anyway, here's the bad Deion. Okay, drives me crazy. A reporter asked, and all he was talking about was love and caring for people and going to. So here's a legitimate question from a reporter after 34 or 35 minutes of this press conference.
Like staring death in the face and dealing with reality.
I didn't stare death in my face. I stared life in the face, man. You think I'm playing when I tell you I'm God's guy. I really am. I'm allowed to go through these trials and tribulations so that I could touch and reach and bless people with my words, with the energy, with that thing that God gave me. So I never thought about no death.
It's so ridiculous. It's what the whole insinuation was. The entire press conference. Okay, so I had to, whoever the reporter was, great question. And maybe Deion could use his love and say, you know what? Yeah, it was tough. It's tough staring death in the face.
Now, Blake, you've known Deion for, like you mentioned, 35 years. He wasn't always serious about his faith, right? He was kind of a wild guy.
Oh no, I mean I think when he played for the Cowboys, he was a believer and played for the Niners, and then before that, when I covered him when he played for the Cowboys, he was definitely a believer.
Okay.
And he's gone through 3 marriages, tough relationships. I think it's 3. And he's had a rocky road, ups and downs, a lot of stuff. But yeah, he's always been a believer. But he's always been full of himself also, which is fine. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. He's prime time. He's prime. He's Coach Prime. I don't stare death in the face. That's what you just did. The entire press conference was that. So that's either there's good Deion and there's bad Deion, but he's raising awareness, so that's a good thing, and he'll be on the sidelines. And I think there was another question about, is good knowing your coaching staff is there to, you can lean on your coaching staff. I don't lean on my coaching staff. I don't need my coach. They need, I'm like, come on. Dude, we know you're one of the greatest football players of all time. We get it. We understand, but I don't know, just a little dose of humble, humility would be nice. But hey, it's good. If you love him, you love him. That's awesome. What say you?
No, I think that's a very fair interpretation, Blake. I think that's very fair. What I like about him is how, and you brought this up, how on the nose he is about his faith in a city with leaders.
That's the best part.
If the dude was a different skin color, would have never gotten this job. I mean, it's a white Southern boy talking about his faith is going to be treated totally different in Boulder, and I always find that ironic in a state, in a community that is so obsessed about race, openly acknowledges they treat you differently based upon your race. So, and then I love what he's done with the program. I mean, that was a program that was
absolutely.
dead in the water. And then I went up and got to attend a game, and dude, the energy was off the hook. And then the VIPs I was there with were Democrats, Republicans. He's brought everybody together in that city around football and around Jesus. And I'm just, dude, tip of the hat to prime time.
You think there's a lot of Jesus going on in the East stands during a game?
Well, it's a lot more than there used to be.
Well, that's true. That is true. I love it, though.
It's like,
I love
dude,
it. No,
I ran the Boulder, and it's classic Boulder, right? Just you have a component of Boulder that's just people on some substance. Whether it's alcohol or marijuana or mushrooms,
right,
and then you have another component.
Substance.
You have another component of Boulder that's like super motivated by the latest liberal issue, and they're running around free Palestine, free Palestine, free. So that's classic Boulder, and then lo and behold, a black guy talking about Jesus walks right in, and all of a sudden the Democrats are all about him, and they love the guy, and I'm just like, good.
Yeah, good.
So much better
I'm
than
right
what
there
we're
with
normally
you.
dealing with.
I agree. It's awesome. I could talk for hours about this. One person is recovering after being hit by a freight train in Platteville Monday. It happened near County Road 38 and Highway 85, where the train hit the back end of a pickup truck. Officials say the driver allegedly ignored warning signals and was cited for not stopping at the railroad crossing stop sign. The driver is suffering from minor injuries and treated on the scene. Boulder police say a mountain lion killed a dog. Residents were walking their dog when a mountain lion jumped on it without warning and ran away with the dog. The dog's remains were later found in a backyard. It happened last Friday in the 2400 block of Balsam Avenue. So be careful. It's kind of sad.
Could you imagine that while you're walking your dog?
No, I can't.
Like right in front
can't
of you.
even.
This isn't something that happened while your back was turned in the backyard or something.
Yep.
This, like while you're walking your dog.
That's frightening. Now think about the mountain lion, how it's just tracking and looking at the dog and like, okay, I got to get the dog and avoid the humans. But oh man, dude, those things are so frightening. They are so beautiful at the same time, but they are, man, frightening.
Can you imagine
so
the sound,
quick.
too?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, man. My ninth grader, he's watching the neighbor's dogs. Oh, we had a little scare here. I feel so bad for him. Thankfully, the dog is okay, but the wind somehow blew their front door open. The dog escapes, and
oh no,
the people get home when that happened. He's been doing such a great job for 4 days, and luckily the dog is right there in the backyard. But I was thinking about that when I'm reading this story. That's sad, man. Yeah, the sound effects would be violent.
Right.
CBI.
We have chickens. We've lost a number of chickens to coyote recently.
I bet.
And we have it on video. And it
oh, wow.
Just a good reminder, nature's violent, man.
Man, no doubt.
No mercy. Just sneaks up, big plume of feathers, and he's off with that chicken. And
That's what I kind of miss about Douglas County. We used to, have the windows open in the summer and fall at night, and every morning at 2:00, man, those coyotes going to town. Having dinner.
I think it's a beautiful sound.
It is, man.
Well, at least the coyotes doing their cries.
True. Yes, absolutely. Not the actual event.
The murder.
Yes, the murder. Exactly. CBI has issued an alert for a 17-year-old named Deja Palfy, who was last seen Monday evening near West 82nd Avenue in Bar Lane. Palfy is an indigenous teen with ties to the Lakota Sioux tribe, described as 5'9", 120 pounds, with brown hair and eyes. She was wearing a black hoodie, blue jeans, and black and white Nike shoes. Anyone with information urged to contact Westminster Police or call 911. Epstein crime partner Ghislaine Maxwell is asking the Supreme Court to overturn her sex trafficking conviction in a new brief filed Monday. Maxwell's lawyers argue an agreement made between Epstein and the U.S. government shields her from prosecution. She's currently serving a 20-year sentence in federal prison. DJT with a ribbon cutting at his new course in Scotland this morning. While in Europe, he was able to accomplish a peace deal between Thailand and Cambodia. Thailand and Cambodia. The Trump administration giving the green light for federal workers to promote their religious beliefs to colleagues. Kind of what Jeff and I were just talking about on the CU campus with Coach Prime. That's according to a Monday memo from the Office of Personnel Management. It calls for freedom of personal religious expression unless that expression imposes an undue hardship on operations. Rockies beat Cleveland 8-6, 67 in Aurora, 66 in Englewood, 68 in Denver. Jeff and Billy continue on this Tuesday. Blake Olson, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Your KNUS forecast for the Denver metro area calls for cooler temperatures today. Frontal system, some monsoonal moisture, and weak upslope going to keep readings mid and upper 80s. There will be scattered afternoon and overnight showers and strong thunderstorms, small chance of a severe storm. Mild and pleasant temps Wednesday through Friday, low to mid 80s with showers and thunderstorms. Weather is a service of L&L Heating and Air Conditioning. For quick, trustworthy, and dependable service, call L&L Heating and Air Conditioning at 720-851-1691. Visit them online at bestdenverhvac.com. That's bestdenverhvac.com. You'll be comfortable with L&L. I'm meteorologist Mark Huer in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
So the city of Denver has voted to spend roughly $800 million over the next 35 years to improve the National Western Complex. This is where the National Western Stock Show is housed. And the National Western Stock Show brings in a lot of money to the city of Denver. And let me remind you all that the National Western Stock Show is not a petting zoo. It is around the idea that you raise animals to be sold for the purposes of food processing, okay? That's the whole basis of this. We're not in the business as farmers and ranchers of raising animals to just fulfill petting zoo needs. Well, keep that in mind when you read this headline. Denver now spending $3 million to promote a plant-based diet. So on one hand, $800 million to make sure that we improve the National Western Stock Show, which is around selling animals for food, and we're going to spend money, millions of dollars, by the way, to promote a plant-based diet. Could only happen in the city of Denver. To join us to provide some comment on this is Senator Byron Pelton. He's a Colorado State Senator, represents District 1, ag community, all those great farmers and ranchers out there in Colorado. Senator, thank you for joining the Jeff and Bill Show.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate the talk about this.
Yeah, so you see the headline, $3 million spent by the city to promote plant-based diets. Tell us your thoughts.
I thought it was a waste of money. I mean, we're talking about a $47 billion industry. And when folks want to say that beef is killing the environment, and what I want to tell them is that if they believe that cow farts are actually killing the environment, I mean, it just boggles my mind to think that they think this. We raise animals out here, livestock animals, on land that can't grow a single thing. So that's why we pasture them on grass, because we can't. I mean, you can't grow corn or wheat on any of this land that we're pasturing them on. So the fact that we're taking land that's not good for anything other than raising livestock and turning it into food is one of God's very miracles that we perform, that we are able to do out here. And it just boggles my mind that they want to continue down this road of this lie that our cattle are creating climate change.
The Colorado agriculture industry is the state's second largest economic driver, only behind tourism. Now, Senator, these are the moments where I see the great rural-urban divide at its clearest, right? You have the ag community, and I come from eastern Colorado, where we're processing meat, and processing food is a daily part of our lives. I imagine that there's people in the city of Denver who think that their food comes from a grocery store. It doesn't actually come from farmers and ranchers. You're down at the state capitol on a regular basis dealing with Democrats. Talk to us about how they genuinely feel about the ag community.
Well, I have to tell you that the majority of them are actually hold a respect for the ag community. There are a few that do not, because of their climate religion won't allow them to. But for the most part, a lot of them, I've actually brought them out here to visit us, because in my district I represent 7 counties. 6 of them are in the top ag producing counties, and in the state of Colorado. And I got to tell you, when I bring them out here, they are just so impressed with how nice the folks are out here, even though they don't agree with them and would never vote for them. But they do appreciate the fact how nice they are and how they're focused on delivering the best product for people to eat, and they are just very impressed with that. And so the fact that as soon as they come out here, sometimes their minds change about what's going on, that is awesome. But I will tell you that there are a few in the legislature that you could bring them out here, talk to them, and they'll still believe that cow farts are killing the environment.
That's Senator Byron Pelton. He's a Colorado State Senator. We're talking about the headline coming out of the Denver Gazette, the city of Denver spending $3 million on a campaign to encourage plant-based diets. Senator, from your perspective, do you hear from constituents that feel like they're under attack by the regulatory schemes set up in this state to drive agendas like climate agendas that want to either shut down energy development or shut down the ag community? Do you hear from them?
All the time I hear from my constituents saying that. And it's not just shutting down energy or attacking agriculture. It's also like preventing our roads from being fixed, because that somehow kills the environment as well. They're just so frustrated out here by this continuing attack with the climate change agenda. It's mind-boggling to just put that thought in their heads, because they just cannot believe that there is no way forward that we can move forward from this climate change agenda crap that they keep forcing down our throats.
Yeah, in many ways I've seen it as a form of religion for them. They believe the end is nigh, and unless major changes are addressed instantly with regards to climate. And again, this isn't about like stewardship issues. Oftentimes I found like conservatives who spend more time outside than progressives do care about the environment. They genuinely care about it. We want clean water. We want clean air. We want good state parks to be able to visit. We're a camping family. We're an ag family. I mean, it's a part of a lot of Coloradans. What we don't believe is that somehow industries like oil and gas and cattle production is somehow contributing so much to an environment in crisis that if we don't shut it down right now and become cavemen and eat bugs, then somehow the future is going to end, and so we therefore have to make all these radical changes. And that's where they just kind of make this bizarre turn into government control into every aspect of our lives. These are the same people that be happy to let you choose to kill a child at any point in development. No problem, no government. But you want to raise cattle, or you want to be a part of an oil and gas industry? No, the government's going to step in right now, because if we don't, then the entire world's going to end as a result of climate change. And so it doesn't make sense. It's harming good people that are trying to make a good living, and it's a huge part of our state's industry. Talk to us about how Colorado ag contributes so much money to the economy and why it's so important to protect.
Well, like I said, again, a $47 billion industry. We're sixth largest in the nation for beef exports in the United States. So that's huge as well. But it is so important to protect, because we're not talking about corporate farms. We're talking about families out here that do this for a living. Families that don't make a lot of money, Jeff, as you well know, being in agriculture. We're not getting rich out here by any means. I grew up raising cattle my entire life with my father, a single parent, who that's what he did, is he raised cattle and worked on a farm his entire life. So, I mean, it is a very difficult job. It's a very hard job, and to show the lack of respect for the ag industry like Denver's doing right now, I mean, it would not surprise me at all if the folks at the stock show stop showing up without having all these folks coming in going, well, you know what, we bring our animals out here to show. This is a tradition for us, but why would we do that if we don't have any respect from the actual city that the stock show's in? So, I mean, it is a constant attack on our industry, and it is getting worse and worse all the time, Jeff.
Yeah. That's Byron Pelton. He's a state senator here in Colorado. We're talking about the headline from the Denver Gazette that the city of Denver is spending $3 million on a marketing campaign encouraging people to engage in a plant-based diet. Look, no one cares if you're a vegetarian. Nobody cares if that's what you choose to do. What you have here is the city of Denver in the midst of an economic crunch, to the point where it is now furloughing employees of the city in order to try to address this big hole, millions of dollars that it is over budget with, choosing now to spend $3 million encouraging people not to eat meat in a city that is the centerpiece of the national stock show industry, right? There's stock shows all over the country, but this is the national Western stock show. You got a great airport with DIA that people can fly to. It's easy to get to if you run a ranch or farm out in Iowa or Nebraska. And if you walk around the National Western Stock Show, you see people visiting from all over the country. It is a big deal for the city. It's a big deal for the industry and the ag community. And then to have some yahoo in the city of Denver decide that, you know what we're going to do? We're going to spend money, taxpayer dollars, in the midst of a budget crisis, promoting a rejection of the industry we rely on in order to make this city successful. Byron, to your point, it wouldn't surprise me if the stock show looked at other places. I know it's looked at places like Oklahoma City, for instance, to host. I mean, it's bizarre to me that you get these guys, they're willing to put on a hat, and I understand, like, they're not ag people, they're not Western people. I wasn't an ag person until 5 years ago. Put on a hat, they walk around, they go, yeah, yeehaw, National Western Stock Show, and then they go back to their offices and put into a line item in a budget that people shouldn't eat the very product that 5 minutes ago they were at the National Western Stock Show promoting. That's what I don't understand. Your thoughts, sir?
I totally get your point there, because I got to tell you, like, they always tell me, these folks that believe that climate change is a religion, they always tell me, well, you guys can grow all that corn you grow out there, we can eat that. And I said, our entire ag economy relies on animal agriculture, livestock, whether it be cattle, whether it be pork, whether it be lamb. Our entire ag economy relies on animal and agriculture, period. So it just won't happen. If animal agriculture and beef goes away, then our entire ag economy will collapse. And so that's what they don't understand. And the fact that the National Western Stock Show educates folks and educates the city folks is a huge plus, and it's a huge bonus for all of us. Not only that, it is a tradition to show off our Western heritage and who we are. The Capitol was built by the great cattlemen that were in this state back when we became a state, and I just am so impressed with the National Western Stock Show, and we have to get away from this whole plant-based broad diet and cow farts are killing the environment. Because, Jeff, you know what? Cattle aren't the only things that sit there and eat plant-based and then fart and ruin the environment. Vegans do the same thing. So I don't know what to tell you other than that.
That's Senator Byron Pelton. You can learn more about him by visiting byronpelton.com. That's BYRONPELTON. The city of Denver is spending $3 million on an ad campaign to encourage you to eat less meat. Our friends over at the Common Sense Institute have looked at the economic impact of the National Western Stock Show. For instance, $171 million brought in annually just with that 3-week event. $171 million to the city of Denver. Ag is the second largest industry, billions of dollars, $47 billion brought in to the state of Colorado. And some yahoo sitting in an office in the city of Denver decided, you know what we're going to do, spend our money in the midst of a budget crisis on a $3 million ad campaign encouraging people not to eat the very product that city relies upon in order to operate. It's shameful. It should end. Good people like Senator Byron Pelton fighting the good fight for the ag community. Senator, thank you for taking time to join the Jeff and Bill Show.
Thank you, Jeff and Bill. I appreciate being on.
All right, we'll continue. You're listening to Jeff and Bill.
This is Denver's talk leader, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Wake up, Denver. There's no better place to start your morning than IHOP, where the pancakes are fluffy, the coffee is hot, and the smiles are endless. Wednesday, August 27th, Join Jeff and Bill as they broadcast their show live from IHOP at 1595 South Colorado Boulevard in Denver. You're officially invited to be part of the excitement. Come grab your favorite breakfast and watch the Jeff and Bill Show in action from 6 to 10 a.m. Don't forget to try the special Jeff and Bill breakfast. Pancakes, any style eggs, and crispy bacon, all for just $7.10. It's a deal as good as their hot takes. All they need is you. Bring your appetite, bring your friends, and kick off your day with great food and great conversation. See you Wednesday, August 27th at IHOP.
So, Bill, there's a meme out there where, like,
Yeah.
missiles are flying through the air, and it says, my tax dollars. And then there's an image of missiles flying to meet the missiles that had just been fired off, and it says, somehow still my tax dollars. It's the idea that, for whatever reason, America decides we're going to fund both sides of wars everywhere around the world. I don't know. I've never understood it. I guess it's this idea that somewhere someone may be offended, so therefore we should fund both sides. And
in my mind, no, that's capitalism. You sell to everybody.
Yeah,
that's it.
But
I mean, that's the idea, though. Is you sell to everybody. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, in that case, yes. But when I saw this headline of the city of Denver spending the city. This isn't a special interest. There's plenty of NGOs out there, or maybe a plant-based company that's like, hey, eat less meat, support our company, whatever, or PETA, or the Humane Society of the United States, whatever it might be. The city of Denver, in the midst of its budget crunch, is willing to spend $3 million on an ad campaign to eat less meat And we're the home of the National Western Stock Show.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the irony, and the irony is really, really stupid. The thing for me is the budget issue, is that we have a budgetary issue in the state of Colorado, both, you know, on the statewide level and in the Denver metro area. But taking $3 million out to have a marketing and advertising campaign, I think is phenomenally stupid, especially talking about ways in which people are going to change eating meat. And I think, and I'm going to go talk to the phone here in a second, but I was talking to someone who's a vegetarian, not vegan, but vegetarian, a couple of weeks ago. And they said something to me that kind of dropped my jaw, because I think they're 110% right. And I'm going to go talk to the phones, and I'll come back and I'll tease you with this. What they said is, do you know what vegetarians get wrong about the entire idea about eating no meat and our food? That's how they started the statement. I'll complete it in a sec, because they were right. They were absolutely right. But I'm going to go talk to the phones. I'll be right back.
Well, look, nobody cares if you choose to eat a plant-based diet. I don't care. Go for it. I'm not running an ad campaign. I'm not trying to get the city of Denver or Colorado to say, oh, you plant-based diet people are terrible, and, you know, do you realize the harm you're doing to our state? I don't want our taxpayer dollars spent on any of this. What you have with the National Western Stock Show is an incredible revenue driver for the state, for the businesses that live here, for the community, for the tax revenue. Okay, you have good, hard-working Coloradans, ag farmers from around the country that come here, and they benefit our city. And some idiot, and I'm not using that word lightly, some really stupid person in the city of Denver office decided, you know what we're going to do? We're going to spend $3 million encouraging people not to support the very product that's necessary for the city to operate. That's what gets me on this. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Bill, who do we have?
We have Fred in Longmont.
Fred, Longmont. Come on, Fred. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Morning.
Morning, guys. If you have a piece of paper and a pencil, you might want to write this book, the title of this book down. It's called Cattle Kingdom, The Hidden History of the Cowboy West, and the author is Christopher Knowlton. But what I wanted to talk about in regard to Denver, you may want to look this fellow up. His name was, John Wesley Iliff, for which Iliff Street is named. He was one of the first cattlemen in the country, and he started as a grocer in Denver. And because of him, Denver became a very prominent area or place in the cattle industry. So again, you may want to check the book. It's a great book. I've read it. But John Wesley Iliff, and if it wasn't for him, Denver wouldn't be a cattle town.
Yeah, there's so much of this town that we're losing, the history that we're losing. And look, I understand that cities and communities change, but if you think that the vegan industry is going to provide anywhere near what the meat production industry provides in this state, it's not anywhere close. So it's a bad economic decision. This is often motivated by some progressive special interest, and it's actually harming Coloradans, and it needs to be knocked off. Fred, I really appreciate those tips. We'll check out those books. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Let's talk advanced hair restoration, guys.
Do.
Everyone always asks, what makes advanced hair restoration different? Allow me to share, along with some details on, and get this, their once-a-year summer savings event. First off, Advanced Hair stands by their results. Their before and afters are second to none. With Advanced Hair, your own natural hair guaranteed to grow. Secondly, Advanced Hair combines top-rated physicians with modern technology, creating a concierge quality experience that's hard to find elsewhere. And lastly, Advanced Hair's Advanced FUE begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. It's quick, it's simple, and it's easy. Now, if you have a flexible schedule this summer and you've been waiting for that special savings opportunity, well, it's here. Advanced Hair's summer savings event will get you the most hair for your dollar. It's their best offer ever. For details and to schedule your free consultation, give them a call at 720-459-HAIR, 720-459-HAIR. One-day treatment, life-changing results. Your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Before and afters at advancedhair.com. That's advancedhair.com. All right, Bill, you said you were talking with the vegan. They had a question.
Yeah. So basically, they came up and they said, you know what vegetarians get wrong, because it's vegetarian, not vegan. Yeah, which is different and important to them as far as difference. And basically, their point was that vegetarian food needs to stop coming from the perspective of this tastes just like meat. They said that's the negative. And I didn't think about it until they said this, that as soon as you say this tastes like, whatever it is, you're judging it against something else. Now, how many times has someone given you something that says this tastes like, and it's been better than the original? Almost never. Almost never. And that's what my friend said is the problem. That as soon as the vegetarian food says, it's like eating a burger, it's like eating chicken, it's like eating the stuff you already like eating. Well, it's not exactly. It can be a replacement, but it's never going to be as good. And they had the idea that the problem is the sales and the marketing. It should just be, this is an alternative. Don't tell me it tastes like, don't try to pretend it's like this. It's never going to replace that. The person said, you're never going to get the majority of people that stop at a McDonald's and a Burger King to eat a burger to eat a plant-based burger. But if you would just sell that plant-based as an alternative of protein and put it into other recipes, you might have something. Because it's okay as a supplement of protein, something else. There are times in which we know we shouldn't be eating red meat all the time, and we go with something else, or even sometimes you do the things where you're eating a 3-bean salad because there's no meat in there, but you're still getting the proteins. That's okay. Is the 3-bean salad as good as that at McDonald's Big Mac or the Burger King Quarter Pounder? No. Does it fulfill the nutrition? Yes. So if you would just, and my friend said, if you just would go out there and sell it as an alternative, another way to get protein. They said, look at what pork did with being the other white meat. They sold it not as a replacement, but just as an alternative. That's what they said the problem is. As long as the vegetarian food decides to try to be something it's not going to work. I think they got something there.
Have you ever had those cauliflower chicken wings?
Once. Never again.
Yeah, me too. What?
Never again. Because they're not chicken wings. If they would just sell them to me as cauliflower alternative, okay, then I can go, not as good, but that's okay, I get it. But don't tell me it's replacement. That's the problem. It's a problem with this. That's it. Don't tell me your stuff tastes like my stuff. And nobody's out there going, it's a Burger King burger that tastes like plants. We're not doing that. So just saying, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Very true. Great point, Bill. We've got You Choose the News. Coming up, you're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's talk station, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Back to the Jeff and Bill Show. It's that time of the morning that everybody looks forward to. You choose the news.
Yes, it's time to play America's favorite fake radio news game show. You choose the news. You know how this works. Scouring interwebs for moments this morning. Really dumb headlines given to these stories so we can play this fake radio news game show. Why would we do this? Because those that are in charge are not awake until 7 a.m. Once we found out about it, just like back in high school, leave Jeff and I unsupervised, chaos ensues. Ask our parents. Are their stories. And maybe some rest records. And we digress. That's for another day. Back to You Choose the News. As always, we bring in Blake Olson from the news department. Remember, this is one giant secret. Don't tell anybody in charge. Here we go, gentlemen. Your headlines today. Headline number 1, living on the edge. Headline number 2, put your money where your mouth is. Headline number 3, nobody asked me. And headline number 4, Back to the Future. Mr. Hunt, your choice.
One of my all-time favorite movies, Back to the Future.
Yes, Back to the Future. You know, we've got to get back to 1985 really quickly, Marty. That's at least what they're saying in Russia right now. Russian fans of heavy metal and goth music could be facing prison time. What? Recently, Kremlin's top court outlawed the international Satanism movement. They identified it as an extremist and terrorist group that is tearing apart the fabric of Russian society. Problem is, it doesn't exist. There is no international Satanism movement. There isn't a group named that. There's nothing talking about that. There's nothing online. Not even any tickety talks. But that didn't stop.
There is an international Satan now.
I know, but still, there's no international Satanism movement. There's none of that. But the Russian Supreme Court said, because of that international Satanist movement, that basically we are now going to ban heavy metal and goth music. Anybody alleged to be a member of this non-existent movement could face up to 8 years in prison, simply for liking a certain type of music. They say it's a direct threat to Russian statehood. That's according to a senior MP. Also alleged without evidence that Russia's Satanists are funded by, yes, the West. We are responsible. Another pro-Kremlin MP claimed he had received complaints from members of the public about growing numbers of satanic sex orgies. Oh my God, just like back in 1985. All the music was turning their kids into little Satanists and having all these great sex parties. Okay, now one of the accomplices, that he said that there was a case of this happening where someone fried and ate the hearts and tongues of their victims and stabbed them 666 times in order to sacrifice them to the devil. He was actually sentenced to 20 years in prison, but that was back in 2010. However, recently he was pardoned by Putin after serving just a 6-month sentence. He went to the front in Ukraine, so that was the issue. So even though he was a Satanist and ate the hearts and tongues of the victims, that was okay.
Perfect guy to send to the front
as long as you want to do that. Yes, so the Supreme Court ruling is going in effect next month, and it's applied retroactively. So if you liked that Satanist music years ago, you're still going to prison. Lucky you. I know. How fun. Alrighty, now, Blake Olson, your choice, sir. Living on the edge, put your money where your mouth is, or
Throwing
nobody
their
asked me.
CDs out in the trash.
I know, exactly. It's like, no, get rid of the Marilyn Manson. Okay. The Blake
Living on the edge.
Living on the edge. Ah, yes. Okay, Aerosmith approved. The production of the Ford Edge ended at Oakville Assembly Plant in Canada more than 1 year ago. Over 2 million of the units of that crossover were built between 2007 and 2024. The official Ford Edge site was turned into a farewell page. They do still sell it in China as the Edge L, but there is no official North American model. That's why it was weird recently when the owner of an auto repair shop in Lake Crystal, Minnesota, found a wallet inside of a 2015 Ford Edge he was working on. He said it was a bit of a puzzling discovery. He was replacing the cooling fans on the crossover when he removed the vehicle's airbox. That's when he made the discovery of a wallet. The airbox just wouldn't go back in place like it should. That's when there was a wallet sitting on the transmission. He was surprised by his discovery. It was a Ford employee ID of a guy who retired a little while ago. He messaged Richard, the guy that owns the wallet, and he said, oh, yeah, I remember the exact day I lost my wallet while fixing an electrical issue with the Ford Edge model that had been shipped to his facility. He said he never wore sweatpants to work except that one day. Somehow he had his wallet in his shirt pocket. It fell out, but by the end of the day when he realized it was out, there were 2,000 cars on the assembly line floor. There was nothing he could do. He couldn't find the wallet.
Man, I totally know where those fans look like because my son has a Edge.
It's awful.
I wish I would have found that.
And I'm just going to choose our final story because we're running out of time here. Put your money where your mouth is. You can now contribute to paying down our federal debt. Yes, they accept Venmo payments. So everybody's complaining about the debt. Well, Venmo. It's your turn. Alrighty, back to you, sir.
You're listening to Jeff and Bill.
710 KNUS.